So let me tell you a little bit about myself and why I started Resilinc. My background is from the high-tech industry, having worked in supply chain, sourcing, and procurement types of roles at companies like Cisco Systems, Flextronics, Broadcom, etc. And I have a master's in supply chain from MIT. As I was working in the area of supply chain risk management, specifically doing risk quantification, monitoring, component mitigation, design for resiliency type of work, I quickly realized that the biggest issue for companies today is the lack of visibility to multiple tiers of the supply chain, and that the biggest problems that we have to deal with on an ongoing basis happen in the sub-tier supply chain. However, it's really critical that companies not burden their suppliers in collecting this information. So therefore, the idea with Resilinc was, how do we create the LinkedIn for supply chain? So the LinkedIn for supply chain, I mean, suppliers can come in, put their information in one place, but do the effort once, and then securely share this information with many of their customers simply by approving them. This has been the biggest success why Resilinc has been able to serve suppliers and customers well. So there are two aspects to how Resilinc delivers value to customers. There are the recurring savings and the per disruption savings. The recurring savings come from three things. There's advanced sourcing opportunities, there's manpower savings, and there's contingent business interruption premium savings. So let's talk about advanced sourcing. What we mean by advanced sourcing is companies have the opportunity to leverage vast amounts of multi-tier visibility information to look for savings opportunities outside of their Tier 1 supply chain. So this is actually the biggest untapped source of savings today that companies are not able to pursue because of the lack of mapping information. So we are seeing in the life sciences and high-tech industry where our customers are able to go to the Tier 2 suppliers of critical raw materials, negotiate preferred pricing, and exploit vast amounts of cost savings opportunities that way. The second is having access to a centralized repository. If you think about supply chain, commodity management functions in most of the companies today, and every supply chain function in the company needs access to these people because they have so much supply chain intelligence either in their heads or in their laptops. So the centralized repository, which is dispersed and available to all of the different users within the supply chain function, reduces the dependency and the delay caused by everyone depending on one function. The third is actually very interesting, which is contingent business interruption savings. So this is where a lot of companies who have contract manufacturing, subcontractor type of dependencies would buy business interruption insurance for contingent sites. And that is where a solution like Resilinc, which can really help customers pinpoint exactly which sites need insurance, to what level of insurance is needed, how much deductible, and how much coverage. So customers are realizing better coverage, lower deductible, faster processing for their insurance policy. The other part of this is the per disruption savings. So think about it. In the normal course of events, when something happens halfway around the world, today our supply chain function may not be aware of it because we're not monitoring events on a continuous basis. So we think it's business as usual. By the time we find out, other companies have also found out about it. And if we're not able to get our lines back up, then we're product not on the shelf, customer satisfaction is affected, etc. Now look at the other side. 180 degrees. We have event monitoring and we have proactive supply chain mapping. Something happened halfway around the world, we get a notification within hours. But because we have also simultaneously gone and mapped our supply chain proactively, therefore we not only know that there was a factory fire at a supplier in Vietnam, we actually know exactly which parts are coming from that factory, which products use these parts, how much inventory we have of those parts, and what is the potential exposure. Not only that, we are first to the market because the rest of the industry is still blissfully unaware, which means we're able to secure the $2 part, maybe at 3, but definitely not at 20. We really like the name Resilinc because Resilinc tells us what it's all about. Ultimately, what we are doing with this company is we are creating resilient linkages between suppliers and customers. And what do we mean by resilient linkages? These are linkages that are established based on trust. Suppliers trust their customers not to abuse the information that they're providing on the Resilinc platform, and customers are leveraging this information to manage their supply chain better, be more proactive, and reward their suppliers by giving more business, preferential treatment, putting these suppliers on trusted partner statuses, and working together to react, respond, and recover operations faster in case any disruptions do happen. So when we say Resilinc your supply chain, we're really saying make those linkages and those connections and those relationships stronger.